Hello, hello. I think I'm just gonna start off the stream by just kind of like yapping about the deck a little bit. I think Calling Kansas City is currently going on. A lot of those games are pretty interesting, so feel free to go watch that. The purpose of this kind of stream is more so to just kind of like talk about like the Blitz deck, I guess, that I've been kind of working on, and then also kind of like do basically like a live kind of like recording. So I basically want to try to like track my win rate over the stream and see how that goes. But I think Zen and Blitz is actually like kind of crazy strong, and I've been practicing a lot with them, doing I think pretty well. Let's kind of take a look at my results, at least the recent results. I think what is it, 8 losses out of 17 plus 12. So 30, 35, 35, 17 is that, or no, it's 35, 8. 35, 8, that's like, what is that? It's over 80% win rate. That's kind of crazy. This is ignoring like the kind of past win rate, by the way. But yeah, this deck is pretty crazy strong. I think I'm going to start by just playing a couple games, and then we'll kind of just wait for people to join in, and then we'll kind of talk about the deck list a little bit. Yeah, let's go into competitive Blitz and see how it goes. But yeah, if y'all haven't gotten the chance to go watch the Calling Kansas City stuff, we did like a sponsored stream a while back, and they've been doing some pretty good production work. So I've been watching that pretty thoroughly, and there's some really cool games so far, at least. I think they're still doing like the CC Swiss, at least supporting. But yeah, we'll just play some Blitz, have some fun. I know skirmish season is kind of coming up, so wanted to kind of give people at least my latest end list, or pretty close to what I do, what I would bring. I think there are a couple slots that like I think 95% of this is pretty good. I think like the last couple slots are like the Growls, the Breed Anger, and like the Censor. Like these 4 cards or these 5 cards are basically kind of like what I'm trying to tweak. I think if I go back and like look at the Zen deck list, I think a lot of the cards I'm considering in that place are like Key Unleash, CNC, Incants, and like Cosmic. Otherwise, I think the list is pretty solid. There's kind of like an interesting thing you can do with this list, which is like into kind of like mechs, particularly. Hello, how's it going? I don't expect a lot of viewers today, by the way, mostly because I think the Calling Kansas City stuff is going on, but I wanted to do kind of like a live, kind of like Blitz game session, I guess. I want to see like basically how many wins, how many losses I can get by the end of the stream. So that's kind of what I wanted to start off. All right, playing against a Boltyn. I think we'd rather go first into Boltyn. And then, do we want D-Reacts? I feel like we maybe just cut a little bit of the cute stuff here. Although Censor's like not bad. Maybe we just cut the Growls for like flicks here. Kind of don't mind that. Boltyn typically doesn't draw a lot of cards. The balance is not good, but I think otherwise this looks good. Alright, bit of a clunky start, but not the end of the world. Alright, so it seems like they're more on a Fatigue Boltyn, and this deck eats Fatigue decks alive, so don't mind seeing that. We're only on 1 Cosmic in this configuration, but since the ban of CYB and Blitz, you really, at least I have not needed the second Cosmic in the past like 50 games. So I cut the last Cosmic, or sorry, I cut one of the Cosmics. I think you still need at least 1. But 2 feels maybe excessive and a little clunky sometimes. Like you can sometimes just draw hands that are just like Wind Chakra, Cosmic, and then you're sitting wondering why you added a second Cosmic. Alright, seems like we're playing against like Boltyn Fatigue, which makes sense. Alright, so I imagine what we're playing against is probably like every D-React in the game, plus just some Warrior 3-block cards. Alright, so coming in with the Great Axe. I know some number of Warriors are playing like CNC and stuff. So I guess the question is, do we want to do anything here? I think there's maybe merit to just 100 wins plus Flick Flack here. Yeah, Blitz is so Blitz is kind of like I think I initially called this deck list like Blitz is a fake format. I think to some extent that's still true. In that like a lot of the stuff that's going on in Blitz is like pretty just like you basically get a power turn and then you like kill your opponent. I think there's actually like Zen has a really interesting niche in Blitz because you can kind of like pivot your game plan between like having this very aggressive shell that does not lose to fatigue, and then you also just have you have like the aggro high roll potential of just drawing transcend every turn because like the key like thing about Zen and Blitz and like why he was broken basically in Blitz on release is that you have 9 transcend cards that you get to run. You don't get to like limit the number of transcend cards, and then uh your chi to deck ratio is basically like a lot higher. So like in a normal like CC Zen deck list, like less than a sixth of your deck is chi. But in Blitz Zen, it's just under 25% or something like that. So you basically get to transcend more often, which is also like really cool. All right, coming up with another Great Axe. Yep, seems good. We don't need to block with his hand. We can just arsenal another incant. But yeah, Blitz is a lot of fun. I've been like practicing Blitz just for skirmish, and I've kind of actually been enjoying it. Like I think mainly because I get to play Zen again. That's probably one of the key things. But I think it's just fun regardless too. All right, so levels. I think we're just bottoming the Mauling Key and grabbing our chase. I think we're actually going to go for buff on this because we want to arsenal this anyways. And like our return of drawing a random card off the top is not necessarily better than 2 damage. Yeah. I think like I think Blitz is like not a very well balanced format, but part of the fun of Blitz, I guess, is it kind of feels kind of like it's an unsolved format, right? Like no one cares about Blitz, so no one's playing Blitz, and then you can kind of like just kind of like skill gap people based on like your experience with Blitz, right? Or at least like I have like 50 games on Blitz, at least in the past like 2 or 3 days. So I've just been grinding this deck to just try to improve it a bit. But like a lot of people just like don't play Blitz and they just like pick a deck and then they just go to skirmish. But like if you're playing a deck that like you know how to beat the top decks, it's pretty cool. So I don't know. Like Blitz, like I feel like it's hard to take seriously as a competitive format, but like there are good decks that are pretty good, at least in the format, that you can like use to one up people, I think. All right, we got Soul Shield. Seems good. Imagine we're just swinging Decimator next turn. We got all of their armor, and they're keeping only 1 card, and we have a Transcend card loaded up for next turn. Okay, so they're not even gonna go for it though. Okay, seems good. So I'm wondering if we want to preserve now or if we just want to preserve later. We also just pass over something. I guess preserve is better, so we can just put the chase back in the deck if we want it. That seems fine. So I think the play here is we're gonna no. Well, I guess we're gonna end up getting our blue key unleashed here, I think. I'm just playing that. I originally had a red key unleashed in this deck, but sometimes it felt a little clunky, so I just switch it over to blue. That also kind of made sense when cutting the second Cosmic, at least from my perspective. Because Key Unleashed, oh wait, did we use our Key Unleashed? Wait, is this not the version of the deck that has Key Unleashed in it? Hold on. No, wait. Hold on, where is this Key Unleashed? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my mind. Okay. That's fine. So I thought for some reason I was like playing a different version of the deck list. Titanium Bauble. Okay, fair enough. I mean, functionally that's like, sure. I mean, functionally that's like all the blue warrior cards in this deck are just Titanium Baubles. Oh, they're running 2 of them. Damn. Pretty solid. So they do gain a little bit of life, but again, this deck just like does not fatigue. Let's go ahead and banish. I don't think it really matters here. Just banish their helm or whatever. Then what are we getting? We could get... we could get either just a go again, like 100 wins. I'd rather leave the 100 wins and the wins eternity together, though, if I can help it. So maybe the best case scenario is to like Arsenal the Mauling Key and just get a Mauling Key. Kind of don't mind that. So I think we'll do buff go again. This also like helps us preserve a little bit of deck density, and we're gonna Arsenal this Mauling Key anyway, so we don't need to draw an extra card. Yeah, I finally found it like 3 years later after looking for the Key Unleashed. But yeah, Key Unleashed has felt pretty solid, just as a one of. I think you either run this at blue or red, and it's just always a nice tutor target, especially if you have a hand that's like 3 blues plus Transcend. Fits the curve really nicely. But yeah, our opponent has to do some work here if they want to fatigue us. Like I honestly just like think this deck like cannot lose to a pile of D-Reacts. Like I think their win con is basically getting us to like run out of threats, like our Mauling Key, Tiger Swipe, whatever. But like I think that just like doesn't happen a lot with this deck. There is like one concern, I guess, with like arseling the Mauling here is that if we draw our sensors, then it gets a little bit more awkward. Did we cut sensor? No, I think we still have sensor in the board. So we do have a lot of chain enders, which is maybe a little bit of concern. But otherwise, I think we're still fine here. So go ahead and arsenal the Mauling. Fantastic hand. And I think this just probably kills. I guess the question is like, what is the best thing to play here that will kill them faster? Probably just the incant. Like we incant, just keep making the transcends. I think that makes sense. And then we can Kakara. Problem is we're still arsenaling this Mauling Key, which I don't love. Maybe that's fine. We do want to maximize our Kakara as much as possible, just so that we're getting 2 damage every turn that they have to block. Yeah, Dragon Power I think is like pretty similar to Key Unleashed in terms of like the value proposition, right? Because like in general for like the other ninjas, they want to be using Dragon Power, or like Syndra for instance, right? They want to be using it as like kind of like a 1-for-7 that you can sometimes just stumble into off like Blood Splatter Vest or whatever, which I think makes a lot of sense. Ooh, we're getting shunted again. Terrifying. All right, so we can just get a Chain Ender here. So let's actually get Gust Wave so that we're less likely to draw into it. It's also just a nice 0-for-4 tutor target if you don't need the extra action point. And yeah, seems like they're off it. Okay, we get to add a little point to the board there. Okay, how do I edit that? Give me 1 second. All right, let's see how many wins we can get. All right, currently 1-0. Let's go back to. Hold on, where's the main menu? There it is. All right, go back in. All right, Blaze is scary. So this is one of the deck's like probably worst matchups. Not by a ton, but by a decent amount. AB2 is sometimes enough though. But yeah, Blaze definitely can be a bit scary. But I think AB2 generally covers like most of like what they're doing. Okay, so we have Growl into Sensor, Arsenal Stir. I think that probably makes the most sense. So yep, they're on just the normal Blaze setup. All right, give them a good look, have fun. I think we'll just go ahead and send 8 here, and then Arsenal the Stir. I don't think it's worth it to pitch the Stir, just because like Stir the Pot also represents like Zen State if we can find another chi. Yeah, I think I liked them sending a message there. That would have been funny. Him with the sensor. I assume they're just going to block 6 on this, but that's fine. If I hit with this, what would I even name? Probably, what's that card called? Shit. I need to remember what that card, what is that card? Cindering Foresight. That's the card I would probably name. Okay, and it seems like I would have been right. That's funny. Yeah. Cindering Foresight's really, really strong. So they're gonna go for the spindle. This costs one less. Play it this turn is over an instant. Okay. So a bit scary. So this is coming in for 5, but I think we maybe can't afford to go off an arsenal here. So I think we're just getting hit by this, which gives them opt 5. Brutal. We do get 5 damage on them though, so maybe it's not that bad. So I think we're not paying for this, just arseling the stir. Kind of sucks, but I think we have to do it. We do get to hit with sensor. What do I name if I hit with sensor? Spindle's probably a decent target. Yeah, Blaze is going to be super popular, I think. So the question is, like, what am I naming here? It's a good question. I feel like foreboding bolt? No, that's probably bad, right? They're not running very many of those. Good name overflow, like red overflow. Alternatively, name like burn bear or something. So they already pitched a sonic boom, so maybe I want to name. I don't even know if Blazes are playing burn bear though. I think I'm actually gonna Emeritus. Does Emeritus make sense? No, it's their turn, right? I feel like I'm gonna name overflow. Just because it's like a red 0 for 3 that I see them run sometimes. Yeah, because I think Emeritus there doesn't make sense, because if they play Emeritus on their turn, that's coming in for 2 less, right? If we name... Oh, Burn Bear would have, I guess, been... I haven't seen a lot of Blazes running Burn Bear, to be fair, though. Okay, so that's bad, obviously. So we have 8 damage coming at us. The question is, do we want to pitch anything here? Kind of do. I feel like we should slow them down a bit. Just pitch like the 100 wins plus and pay 1 into the Burn Bear. Because I think our plan on our turn is just going to be 100 wins, double transcend, just hit him with as much gas as possible, and try to make his end state. They had a really good start though. Hitting a spindle or having the ability to play Foresight, Op 3, and then spindle is like very, very strong. So yeah, their draw might be just a little bit too good this game. Yeah, Burn Bear I think might have been a pretty good name. I haven't seen like a lot of it though. I don't know why. It seems like it's a pretty good inclusion in Blaze, but I just haven't seen people run it as much. Let's go ahead. So the problem with making a Zen state is that they do get the opportunity to respond to it, which means that we're like not actually getting a ton of value. So I think here we're just getting a 0 cost that we can just randomly throw. Maybe the Gust Wave, just because it will potentially make our future draws clunkier. It kind of sucks though, because like the problem is if we make a Zen state, then they just get to send it. Like we might actually be supposed to IP. Maybe we're supposed to like just IP with the Chi. Depends like what they decide to do here, because they basically get free spells for the rest of the game. It doesn't reduce the cost though, at least. So if they just want to block out here, maybe that's fine. Oh yeah, he did. Blitz did. Zen did originally LL and Blitz, but because that was such a bad. I mean, I'm gonna try to close chain here if they want to float the resource. Okay, we'll float the resource. So this means that they want to do something on our turn, right? Which means I think it's actually bad to make a Zen state here. So instead, we should just send the Gust Wave and then AB2, AB2. I think that's slightly better. All right, Absorb an Aether. So they're definitely wanting to do something here. So I think we're just passing. All right, so there's the Blaze. Sure. So Emeritus, at least it's blue Emeritus. They don't have the resource to do everything though. So the question, I guess, is do we want to make a Zen state and then just AB1, or alternatively, do we want to just AB2 on this? I feel like Zen state's better, right? Because we're functionally AB2ing anyways, but this just gives us a Zen state for an extra turn. I think that makes sense. But yeah, back to the conversation about Zen. He did LL, but that was such a bad consumer experience that LSS basically had to change like the way the Living Legend system works, which is kind of fascinating. Okay, so we have some options here. We could mono transcend the Sacred Art and then just go face. The problem with mono transcending the Sacred Art is obviously that's low value, but maybe we don't have a better option. We would be able to get a little bit extra damage on our Growl, and we're kind of safe through Zen save. Not like super safe, but relatively safe. I feel like that might just be our best play. Feels pretty bad though. The other option was we just like send 8, but then we're not at least threatening cards out of their hand, so I don't know if I like that as much. So I think we're actually getting Aspect so you can Arsenal a Tiger here. And this will threaten lethal. But yeah, their start was like super good. Starting with like Red Spindle that we couldn't AB off of Cindering is obviously probably like the best start you can have. Alright, they're gonna get a little extra op value. They're at the point with the Blaze counters though where functionally doesn't matter how many they have, they can basically pay for whatever. Our plan is here, we're going to try to sandbag the Tiger. We actually might play the Tiger if it represents lethal with Shuko. I guess it depends. That's bad. I think we're dead. Sure. Not the end of the world. So I think our plan here is to still sandbag the Tiger. Oh, Fate for Scene. I've not seen a ton of Fate. So yeah, I think we're just going to Arsenal the Tiger, pass back here. Oh, they're not using their Absorbent Aether. Okay. That's actually good for us, right? I think we actually might have a chance here. So we can now chase the tail off of levels, right? I think this is like a little greedy, but like we got to make him have it, right? So I think we are drawing a card off levels, because if we draw blue, then we can use that for the extra pitch. But them bricking there is, oh my god, this is fantastic. So we actually might win off of this. What is the best card they can have here is like Spindle or Absorbent Aether into Burn Bear. Okay, this might do it. Okay, so not out of the woods yet. I guess the question is, if they would kill us, are they going to kill us like right now? Sonic Boom would be bad, but they would also, yeah, I guess they do already have the way to buff it, so that would be pretty rough. So I think we're just sandbagging here. We have enough pitch to AB4. And then they would have to commit another card if they wanted to block here. So I think them bricking last turn was actually really good. They're going to basically die with like 8 Blaze counters. Seems pretty good to me. Burn Bear would also be bad, for sure. Alright, so they're Sonic Boom. Okay. Yeah, Sonic Boom's not good. We are probably in danger here. So I'm assuming they're going to no cards in hand. So they're gonna AB, they're gonna put the AB on, or they're gonna put the arcane buff on this. We might still be dead here depending on what they hit off Sonic Boom. But if they whip on Sonic Boom, we might be actually in okay shape. Or actually, are we dead on board? I think we're dead on board, actually. Oh yeah, we're dead on board. Never mind. Because the will, that basically puts us to 6. Unfortunate. Curious what they had on top. They had Spindle. Okay, yeah, we were not winning that game. That's fine. All right, a 1-1, not too bad. I think Blaze is like a pretty good deck right now. You can definitely like win the Blaze matchup though. It feels pretty 50-50 to me. Give him a good game though. All right, see if we can get another. Play against a Benji if we wanted to, but yeah, I originally I was thinking about not doing this as a stream, just doing this as a video. But I wanted to like kind of show at least my record. Like, I didn't want to like cut any games, just so like people get kind of like a good variety of like what Blitz is like. Yeah, Sonic Boom was rough. I think that's probably one of the. I feel like we can live through a Burn Bear, but living through a Sonic off a Will is pretty bad. So, good beats. I think we had a pretty decent shot that game, but okay. We have Valda. In general, into Valda, I think what I do is I just bring in all my reacts, and then I think I just cut some of the clunkier 2s. I feel like I can cut a Breed and maybe even like one Sensor or like a Gust Wave. I feel like this might be fine. Let's try like this, and then Crown of Province seems fine. So we'll find out what kind of Valda they are. I mean, I feel like for the most part, the Valda lists seem pretty similar to me. All right, just coming in with a Titan's Fist. So one option we have here is we can get filtering to try to find our Transcend cards faster. I think I like the idea of maybe just giving up. It's either the Mauling Key or the Sensor. I think I'm going to give up the Mauling Key and just block 6 here, and then try to get 2 cards deeper towards Transcend. I think there's also maybe an argument to just like throwing your entire hand in front of this to try to draw Transcend, but how many Transcend cards in the deck? Not always super necessary. I think this is fine. So now I just get to do 2-1-5, and they have to kind of block the 5 potentially. Another nice thing about Zen and Blitz is that he's kind of like an aggro deck that doesn't rely on drawing cards as much. So with there's a lot of balance running around just for like KO. Which I think KO is like one of the better decks in Blitz. So what do I name here if we connect? Oh, maybe they forgot about the on hit here. We have 5 armor. I'm super happy with this. Alright, pretty good setup. We have Sync Blow in Arsenal. Tonic instability is annoying. Not the end of the world, though. I'm kind of fine with this if they just want to take a setup turn. Sure, they get a ley line, but if they're not doing anything else, I think I'm kind of happy with this. Obviously a little bit awkward with the double Transcend, but like, Sand's still pretty good, actually. So how do we want to start? So what is our combo count at? We have 3 here. How many combo cards are we running in the deck? We have 19 combo cards. We have drawn none of them. So 3 out of 19. So 16 combo cards are left in the deck. So we have above 50% chance of hitting off this Ancestral Harmony. So I think we probably do just want to play this, right? All right, let's do it. Hit off the top, fantastic. Called it. Let's then preserve back body. I think I like preserving back the body. Gain a resource. Let's then Rising Sun. Bottom the Chi. Alright, so I guess we do give them the card there, but that's fine. 6 Seismic Surge versus 5 I feel like does not matter a ton unless they just hit us with the Valda spec or whatever. But I think that's still fine. We get to get a little value out of our 100 wins now. So now we win Chakra, get our +3, and then start with Kakara. Now we're probably just getting a 0 cost here, right? Yeah, the calling Kansas City is going on, which is pretty cool. We did like a sponsor stream for that. So mainly like I'm kind of streaming here just to kind of, I don't know, give you kind of like an impression of like the Blitz meta and just kind of show you how the deck plays. I also didn't want to do a bunch of editing work since like Tegan's working on the doc and stuff, so yeah, it's a little bit easier to just record. And yeah, we don't do a ton of Blitz on the channel, mainly just because like no one cares about it like during an off season, right? Like it's kind of like this weird middle format where it's like I don't know if they fully know what they want to do with it yet. Like it feels like they're maybe spending more time working on Project Blue than like Blitz, which makes sense, I think. Like I think Project Blue is a little bit more exciting to people. And yeah, like CC obviously they want to focus on like I think Blitz is kind of just like this weird format that's very hard to balance, and then also oh actually hold on, sorry, we made a little mistake there. So instead of doing that, what we should actually do is Zen first and grab Winds of Eternity, right? And then we can threaten the Tiger, then go 100 wins, wins. Oh yeah, one of my favorite things is doing those kind of like series videos where we do like 3v3 Flesh and Blood. I found like that's like actually a lot of fun in terms of like content wise. Mainly the difficulty with that is just like getting together with someone and like scheduling the time. And it also doesn't work for like CC, I guess. Like I feel like it lends itself a little bit better to like kind of like faster formats, I guess. So we did actually, because we bottomed a chi there, we did turn on their size or their testament all the way. That's still fine. Get a beefy Winds of Eternity here. So what is the worst thing they can hit us with? Probably some form of pummel. Something on a pummel. Ooh, Terra Sunder is also pretty good. Depending on what they play here, we might just be giving all of our armor. All right, blue pummel is good to know about. All right, Anna put them in their place. This is like almost assuredly hitting us, right? Or I mean, it's obviously hitting us, but almost assuredly just taking all of our cards. We could end up throwing some armor in front of this. I guess the question is whether or not that's worth it. So I'm assuming. So this pitch is interesting. They pitched a blue pummel. That either means that they have like a red card in hand, or this card is like a red pummel. In which case, we're taking 15. And then what do we do? I guess we're just like we could try to throw some armor in front of this. We could pretend like they don't have a pummel. They almost like assuredly do though. In which case we'd still be getting blown out. Let's pretend they don't have a pummel. And maybe this makes it work a little bit better for us. So I don't think I'm supposed to crown here because our arsenal's like already pretty good. I'll go for the block on it. All right, we had to make him have it. So I think this actually works out pretty well for us. Yeah, I kind of don't like cards like this, if I'm being honest. It's more so just like this weird. It's almost like this equipment you kind of like tutor, right? Like you basically tutor for something that like starts in play, stays in play, like off like Imposing Visage or whatever, which is fine. Like it's fine to give classes power cards. Like this is obviously a power card. Like Ring of Roses is a power card. It's just kind of like hard to interact with for most people or for most like classes, which is why I'm like a little bit less of a fan of that kind of style of card. It's very, very strong, obviously. So you reveal to disable, that's fine. We actually maybe blow them out if we draw a Transcend card. But yeah, like the kind of like starts in play, stays in play nature of it, I'm not as big a fan of. But it's definitely like a strong effect. And like they're giving it to Guardian, so I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. Alright, no Transcend, which is fine. Pitching the disable. Okay. For red disable. Okay, that makes sense. So not anything floating. So that's fine. We'll just like block with Breed, Arsenal the Aspect, and then let our Passover get eaten. Or I guess we can like banish something, but I doubt that matters. Sure, that's fine, I think. Oh, we do have the Quicken token. Did that make a difference? I guess that means we can like now play the Aspect into Kakara plus Censor. Sure. I guess the question is like, do we want Passover in the deck? And I think we do, right? We would rather redraw into a Passover at some point. So I think the play here is actually going to be starting with Aspect off go again. So we actually were able to use the Quicken token. I think I like that better than Arsenal because they are playing Red Disable. They might be playing CNC. So going off an Arsenal, I think makes a bit of sense. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, the fact that imposing exists so that you can tutor for it, I guess makes it a little bit more like it makes it better because like you should basically assume that this card is getting played most of the games, and maybe that's how they balanced like adult Valda. It's kind of funny also that like young Valda has like an extra 1 point of life for like no reason. It's pretty cool. All right, Solid Ground makes sense, and they had to pitch for it, which is also fantastic, so they didn't get any of their seismic value. All right, just coming in with the choke slam. So I think the clear block here is just Wind Chakra, take 5. Then we'll just send 2 and 3 Arsenal to Sync for next turn. I think that makes sense. I feel like we've been drawing a little bit bad on our Transcend cards. Like, I think, how many Transcend cards have we seen? Well, I guess we saw like 3 all in that one turn, right? And then beyond that, we haven't seen a ton. They will have to give a real card to this, though, because they are officially out of armor. I mean, I guess so are we, but them not also being stuck on 2 seismics is pretty good for us. Oh, this hand's like kind of clunky. We might need to try to fix this with Sink Below, which would give them another seismic, which is kind of rough. But they're only on 2 seismics again, so maybe that's like actually fine. If we draw a blue or we draw any starter, this hand is like perfect. So I think we should still do this. Get rid of the Pouncing Key. All right, perfect. Excellent. Yep, seems really good. Now we should probably still play the Ancestral Harmony. I guess what's our combo count at now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counting 9 combo cards. We have 19 in the deck, so it's still 50-50. So we should just play the Harmony out here. Hit, excellent. Then Homage, Kakara. We'll get an extra point of value here. Might actually just kill them off of this. But yeah, I guess I will preemptively update our counter because I think we have won based on this draw. Cool. All right, give an extra little +1 there. Yep, seems good. All right, called it. All right, on to the next one. Actually, let's maybe take a break to kind of like do a little deck tech. I think, how many people are in the stream right now? Let's see. We got 8 concurrent viewers. Okay, you 8 concurrent viewers, you will get the official deck tech. So this is kind of like the deck I've been playing. I think that there are a couple slots that I'm still kind of testing. So one of the slots is Censor. In a lot of other Blitz lists, what I see is like some of these cards, like CNC, Tiger Form Incantation, Second Cosmic. I think that these are all reasonable, but Censor has, I think, actually a lot of good value in the kind of like current Blitz meta, where you can, like, assuming that you know like what other Blitz decks are, this basically turns to like a 1 for 5. You like must block this, right? It gets better as the game goes on because then you can also get to see like more of your opponent's cards, and you can kind of like put your opponents on things. Like, I think Censor is actually very, very powerful, especially in Blitz where you're running like less overall cards, which is really cool. So I've been really liking Censor. This kind of fills the slot of like CNC. I think if you want to run CNC, that's also like a reasonable thing. But one thing about like the Blitz meta in general is that like a lot of people are just running Crown of Providence anyways. So like CNC doesn't end up doing a lot against certain decks. Like if you play it into like Aurora, it doesn't do very much. If you play it, I think some gravies are even like running CNC. But yeah, in general, I think CNC I don't know. It feels very clunky in this deck because like the floor is that you send a 2-card 6, which a lot of decks just like don't care about. Basically, it's kind of like the theory. For other kind of like things in this particular deck list, Cosmic Awakening, I think you only need one Cosmic Awakening now, just because the second Cosmic was mainly for when CYB was legal, which this card basically allowed you to just completely win against any CYB deck. It was basically just like you could not lose to any like Fatigue Terra decks or like Fatigue Ultim at the time, so that's why there was a second Cosmic. But I think since CYB is now banned in Blitz, you really don't need the second one, so I'm just running one. I think as a one-of, you can main deck this card a lot, and it's still really good. And then, yeah, for the most part, this is just Zen good stuff. We have our Growls here just as a good, functionally 0 for 4, sometimes 0 for 3 a lot of the time. Good enabler, good like Transcend starter if you have like 2 Transcend cards that you need to like put on it. That's pretty much the deck. I think the only like maybe questionable card here is like the second Breed, but like Breed does fit the curve sometimes pretty well. It's also just a 3-block combo card. And you also notice like one other thing about this deck. So the majority of this deck blocks 3, which I think is actually really important right now. Because into certain decks like Dash.io and into Datadol, what you want to be doing is not trying to go for like an aggro game plan. You can just fatigue those decks like straight up with just Flick Flack and Sync in your sideboard. So you basically, what you can do is like you can swap the Sync Blows and the Flicks for like some of your Transcend cards. Like you can swap it for like Sacred Art, Path Well Traveled, and like Rain the Tips of Scale. And then you maybe cut like a random like 2-block Growl or whatever. And you can just like fatigue those decks like straight out with Balance of Justice as well to kind of like mitigate the draw stuff. So that's kind of like an alternate kind of game plan for a lot of the other kind of like aggressive strategies. You can't really do that for KO, at least I found, but for like most of the like the mech based Blitz decks, you can absolutely do that. So that's kind of like the core kind of game plan of this deck. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, or that's like most of what I want to talk about. But yeah, this is basically the list that I think like 95% playing for skirmish season. So overall, I'd say it's a pretty good list. Also, I guess one thing to talk about is Crown of Province versus like Mask of Momentum. There's so much like Arsenal hate and disruption going around that I think Mask of Momentum is just like bad. I think you just have better headpieces than Mask of Momentum. So I kind of like having the option between the Balance and the Crown of Providence depending on the matchup. But yeah, I think that Mask of Momentum is just like overall kind of weak. Okay, let's go get back into some games though. 2-1. See how it goes. So yeah, I think what's the plan? I think the plan is to go for like another hour and a half, and then we'll see how many Blitz games we can win in that time. That's the challenge, at least. I think we can get at least 5 or 6, depending on how fast the games go. Let me make sure the Blitz queue is firing. Okay, seems like we are in. Yeah, I feel like sometimes for Talishar specifically, like the Blitz queue just like does not fire very fast sometimes. I feel like the same way for like LL. I feel like that's maybe why I should like was kind of considering just making this a video as opposed to like a full stream thing, but yeah, what the hell. We'll do some streaming. Oh, nice. Okay, so we're playing against New Bravo. I think in general, New Bravo likes going first. So bringing all our D-Reacts. Oh, they're going to have us on first. Interesting. In that case, I think we're pretty much cutting the Growls, and then maybe just one Breed Anger, maybe one Gust Wave, something like this. Just play it pretty neat. Yep, seems good. Okay, so obviously not super good hand. So what does this equipment setup indicate to me? feel like the Arcanite Skull Cap is a bit interesting. But I think our plan here is to just do 2 into 5, Arsenal Sync, IP with Pathol Travel. Seems pretty good. Fortunately, we didn't have a Transcend starter there, but not the end of the world. One other card I was considering for this deck is like Biting Breeze, but the only problem with Biting Breeze in particular is that like it doesn't kind of synergize with our backup game plan of just like raw fatigue into the mech decks, which I think Dash.io and Data at all are still pretty good decks. All right, no blue, but we do have the Flick here, which we can also sync below the Flick into a blue. That's another option. This hand still kind of works though. Like even if we don't hit a blue, we can do like levels, Pathol Traveled into Chase Aspect. Seems pretty good. So I kind of feel like they're not even doing a fatigue. I don't even know if like fatigue is necessarily a viable strategy in Blitz anymore. Just because of like how many decks there are that kind of like prey on it. But like maybe they're trying to do like a more fatigue oriented slant, or maybe they just want to play Skullcap. I guess also both are possible. So it seems like we're just playing against a Guardian pile. So I think we'll just give up the Pouncing Paws here and then sync. And then the question is, do we want to sync either the Chase the Tail or the Flick Flack? Kind of like getting rid of the Flick Flack here, but that obviously would open us up to getting disrupted next turn, so maybe there's a risk in doing that. I feel like maybe we're actually supposed to play it safe and just get rid of the Chase the Tail and try to draw towards like a blue. Yeah, let's get a little greedy here. Okay. Don't know if that's super helpful. That's, I guess, fine. So which is better? Is it better to levels? We like levels pitch aspect, tutor for aspect. It's one option. The other option is we can the other option is we just like pop our Pouncy Paws. I feel like we're actually supposed to levels here because we have the Pathol Traveled. It also just like gets a Transcend card in the deck. So I think this is still, it feels awkward to like pitch an aspect when we like have it. The downside of this is that we'll draw a card. So the downside of this is that basically we are keeping our Pouncing Claws, which is I guess the benefit. But by doing this, we're going off having Transcend in Arsenal, which is maybe a bit awkward. But we do get to like draw one card deeper. We put a Transcend card in the deck. We draw a random card. So I think it's like overall still fine. So basically like we're trading our Pouncing Paws to guarantee that we would have a Transcend card in Arsenal, whereas we could have just had like any random card in Arsenal. I don't know if that's worth it. Pouncing Paws is also just like very, very good, especially in like the later the game goes. So I don't know if I necessarily like that. But yeah, for the Blitz meta, it seems like pretty wide open. I feel like Blaze is one of the better decks. Like the Wizards in general are both pretty good. Like Verdance and Blaze are both pretty strong. Trying to think what else is really good. I haven't seen a ton of like Acilio. That I don't know if that would make sense, and it seems like you would die very quickly, but what other good decks are there in Blitz? I've seen a lot of Valda, a lot of like Bravo as well. Oh, if we had one more resource, we actually might be able to use that Quicken token next turn because we drew the levels. That's really good for us. So keeping a 3-card hand, I'm kind of expecting a Crippling Crush here. But we'll see. Oh, just a Chokeslam. Alright, we can beat a Chokeslam, I think. Yeah. So coming in for 10, we have to block 7. In which case, we can probably just give up like Incant and then Crown plus Kasaya. We do this, we do play levels, we can even get a Chase the Tail if we really want to. And then we just get to send the levels for max value. We are going to go off having armor, but I think that's probably fine just to push some damage. But yeah, Chokeslam was really nice there. We can also hit him with the sensor, which is also pretty relevant, because we can kind of inform our sensor based on how many cards they keep. So the question is whether or not we want to play the Chase the Tail, or if we just want to play it safe. Let's get greedy. Let's play the Chase the Tail, and then we'll do draw buff, draw Monkey, which I guess is just Arsenal. Yellow Macho is spicy. I like yellow Macho. Like blue Macho, obviously I get. And red Macho, I can even understand. Blue is weird. I assume they're not just playing like the starter deck, right? Maybe they are. Who knows? I don't actually know. Is yellow? I know knock them off their feet is obviously from the starter deck, but is yellow Macho in the starter deck? I have no idea. But yeah, it's fun playing Sub-Zen again. I've kind of missed it. His play patterns are just so clean and nice. Like you have like this mini game you get to do. You have like high roll potential. There's a lot of just like fun cards in the deck in general. So if they're gonna try to cover this with a bunch of armor, the sensor might just blow them out if we name Crippling Crush, which I have to imagine they're probably trying to keep cards for. So this might be a blowout. This is why Sensor's like, this is maybe making my case for Sensor, because now we just get to name Crippling Crush and they can't do anything, right? Or they like block 6 or like send Titan's Fist, but then that basically just like wastes their turn. So yeah, I'd say the Sensor here is actually really good. Like we are 100% if we hit with this, we're naming Crippling Crush. And if they don't have Crippling Crush, then I don't know if we care. They could have Spinal, which would be annoying, but like not even that annoying, I don't think. So I think we'll just name the Crypt there and see how it goes. See what they have. Like they're obviously trying to keep 3 cards plus this card, so like the best case scenario here is that they get is that they have a Crippling Crush in Arsenal. If they have something that's less bad for us, then I don't know if we care about it as much. All right, let's see what the mystery card is. All right, Buckling Blow we do not care about. Okay, so that's fine. So we basically just put him off having Crippling Crush, and like we don't care about this effect. So I'd say that's fine. And yes, this hand's really good. The only problem with this hand is the resources are a bit tight because we don't have Kasai anymore. This hand still probably kills. We'd probably just have to like pitch the Flick Flack to the Mauling. So yeah, I'd say this works out pretty well for us. So it's kind of curious why they're keeping the third. Maybe the third card is like Crippling Crush or something. All right, Windchalk for the top, not too bad. Let's banish the Macho on principle, and then I think just get a 0 cost here. What is the best 0 cost? We need the Tiger for this. So it's either Aspect or like 100 Winds or something. I kind of like leaving the 100 Winds in the deck, so maybe we'll just grab the Aspect here. And the Aspect also threatens an additional 1 on the Mauling, so there's a bit of value there. If we hit with this and we get a Tiger anyways, then I guess like the Aspect is a bit redundant, but like we're not risking getting like a Bouncing Key or something, I think. Because like that would imply that this is hitting when they want to probably block this anyways. Hasta luego, Macho. I believe that. Yeah, Yellow Macho is a weird one. Someone who's a Bravo Flattering Showman main needs to come in the chat and tell me what the strat is there. I mean, like Macho's a good card. It's just the yellow one that's like confusing. Actually, is Macho a good card, especially in like Bravo or like this Bravo? Like you're getting Dominate anyways a lot of the time. So, like, do you need more Dominate? I don't know. So now we get to threaten. So this is actually threatening lethal, which is also. Or no, I guess it's not threatening lethal because they have the buckler. They can just throw the buckler and go to 1. But like, they're still not going to be able to dominate anything at us probably for the rest of the game. And we still have like 1 point armor block here, so that if we wanted to, we can keep 4 cards. So we're in pretty good shape. Ah, yes, the yellow pays for the hero ability. Makes sense. I feel like we should be running more yellows in that case, right? Yellow transcend cards would be hilarious. All right, fantastic. Cool. All right, I think probably got this in the bag. So you just get Tiger Swipe or Pouncing Key. I think both are similar. Or no, I guess Tiger Swipe is better because you get the Shuko buff. Seems like we're in a pretty good spot though. I think this deck does pretty well in the Guardians, just because you have 4D reacts. You can kind of just chip them down even if they have a ton of armor. Like, your numbers are just like so far above what they're doing. And like, Sensor is kind of like a beast. Obviously, like, they didn't have a Crippling Crush in Arsenal, so like, it seems like, oh, this card's bad. Like, but imagine if they had like a Crippling Crush and they were trying to keep 3 cards for it. In the theoretical sense, this card's really good. All right, so imagine we're just blocking 6 here. And then I think we might not even block 6 here. Maybe they just block. Oh, they're going to block 6, sure. So now we take the last card at hand, they go to 1, and then we're just sitting on Sink Below in case we ever need it. But I imagine this is mostly just going to be for Titan's Fist swings. Seems good. What's a funny card to name? I'll name Salt the Wound. The classic. You also get to get that text box, or you get that UI when you play that card. Bingo is also a good candidate. Yep, and then we just get to keep doing the 2-1-4-5 play, right? Or I guess we're out of mulling, so maybe that's just Breed Anger, which is fine. We can just like IP with the homage. Let's grab Breed. Yeah, I think we can confidently say that this is our 3rd win. Let me just update that there. Get a nice little 3-1 going. I don't think there's any world they can actually block this turn. Flatten the Field is an interesting one. Deals 4 more damage to hero, destroys seismic. Oh, okay. So maybe they're teching for the Guardian meta or something. Is this just the welcome deck? I have no idea what the welcome deck looks like. Maybe this is just the welcome deck. It might be Rainbow Macho. Huh. No crippling. Okay, so this might actually just be the welcome deck. I have no idea. Is that what the welcome deck looks like? It could be. Let's go ahead. Alright, so we got an Arakni. So similar kind of package here. We're just bringing all our D-Reacts. Cut the Growl, cut the Breed. Sensor's pretty good, actually. And then we can cut random Gust Wave, and that's probably fine. Turn like this. So they're going to opt to go first. So we're basically playing against Slippy. Yeah, what is the Bravo? Hold on. Bravo welcome deck. Bravo demo deck. What is the deck list for here? Okay, I don't even know if they list the deck list. Someone tell me if that is the Bravo welcome deck, though. I have no idea. Alright, pitch and Codex turn 1. Love to see it. What do we want to give up? Probably just like Tiger Swipe or Breed. I think both are fine. Probably blocking with like these 3 cards, keeping the levels. Seems good. Question is if we want to overblock this. I kind of think that might be fine, actually. If we give up the levels, then it's not the end of the world. I think my number 1 priority here is just like not leaking damage. Alright, go to 19, get her marked, and then we're filtering 4 for a Transcend. all in all, I'd say I'm pretty happy with this. Curious if so they did pitch a Take Up the Mantle, so they did have a D-React if they wanted it. Oh, and this hand's fantastic. So actually what we should be doing on this hand is you should win Chakra, Stir the Pot, get a Tiger Swipe, and then end on levels for buff, and then Arsenal Sync. Because we could also draw a random card off levels. So that's 8 damage right here. If we draw a card, we're doing 3 damage. So I get to tutor. I wonder what math is actually better. I feel like the Wind Chakra math actually makes more sense. Maybe. I might have to like go back and watch this and see which ends up actually being better. But I feel like this actually maybe makes a little bit more sense. Not 100% on that. Yeah. Yeah, why? So, okay, so that's actually an important question, is if it is the welcome deck, why did they put Rainbow Macho in the welcome deck? That makes... I feel like that doesn't necessarily synergize with the hero, right? Yeah, that's interesting. I have no idea. So, by doing this, we did 3, 5, 5, which is 13. If we did levels first, we do 3. 3, we get like a 1 for 5. So I think we're doing... It might be the same, actually. Because we can get a 1 for 5 from our deck by tutoring. I have no idea. Alright, they have 5 card hands. We have Syncflow and Arsenal. This could be a scary turn. Marionette is capable of doing some... Or, sorry, this is not Marionette. This is functionally Slippy. But Slippy is capable of doing some scary stuff. So... I feel like at this point, we're just supposed to let them hit. They obviously get to draw a card, but I don't know if we're actually ever preventing the card draw this turn anyways. Notably, if we block with Pouncy Paws and like Sink Below, that doesn't actually fix the problem because they're getting buffed by Piercing. So like the only way we could block this is if we give up Kasaya plus this, but then they always flick the dagger anyways, so maybe this doesn't actually matter. So I think we're just letting them hit here is the point I'm trying to get across. Okay, yeah, maybe our opponent was cooking. That is also entirely a possibility. Maybe they thought they lacked the dominate from the hero power, and maybe they just wanted more consistent dominate or something. Who knows? Ooh, toxicity. Okay. You a Kiss of Death. Terrifying. So we do need to block this, and then we're going to be taking 6 or 7 or like 8. Jesus. So what is the play here? So in order to flick this, they need another attack after this. So we can probably safely assume that this this Kiss of Death is being followed up by another attack. In which case, that's bad. But I think that also means that we're also not getting Codex, which is good. So maybe our play is to just Sink Below. Or maybe we just give up a little bit of armor too. I think both are reasonable. So awkward. That's really good. I think we're just Sink Belowing. I guess let's Sink from hand first and see. I don't think we want to Sink here. I think we're probably just going to have to take our 7 damage off of this. So they leave no, heal 7. Pretty good. And then we just do 3, 2, 5, Threaten Lethal. We're going to like die with all our armor up, which is like sad. But I think this is still pretty good. Yeah, Toxicity is a hell of a card in Blitz. I guess the benefit of this is that they do have to like clear the mark. If we had a Zen State, this would also just like blow them out. And the question here is, do we want to filter it all? I feel like maybe we do actually want to filter this 100 wins. It's 3 damage, which does threaten lethal, But like, if we draw a Transcend card, which we still have a couple in the deck, then this obviously gets really good for us. I feel like I'm going to take the risky play because we're a little behind and just cycle that. All right, we got a little punish, but it's not even the end of the world because we can still just like arsenal this and like sync it with Crown. All right, so we're going to... Wait, should I be at 3? Why did I gain 1? So this deals 1, this deals 1, this deals 1, this deals 5. Wait, should I be at 3? Did I miss something? Why am I only taking 6 there? This is 5, right? They lose 5. When this hits the hero, they lose 1. Deals 1 damage. I feel like I should be at 3. Alright, let's carry on then. I guess I will not look a Talishar Gift Horse in the mouth. Am I missing something? I feel like we should be at 3. So what do I name here if I hit with Censor? So what cards are they like almost certainly running? Probably Mark the Black Widow. Alright, well I guess we would have named that. Okay, what are we calling here? So they pitched a Codex. Very likely that they do have maybe another Codex at some point. I feel like Kiss of Death is not a terrible name, even if they just played one. What other cards does Arakni run? That's a good question. Name like Upsticks, but like I don't see a ton of them run that. I feel like maybe let's just play it safe and play name Kiss of Death. I don't know if that's right. I guess Codex is also pretty bad. Yeah, we'll just name Codex. Sure. We did just see them pitch one, but I don't actually know what else to name. Spinneret's fine. Oh, we should have named Kiss of Death. No. Ruined. Okay, so... Yeah, if by this we die. Rough. I think we're definitely starting here. And then we maybe want to even give a little more. We might just be dead here. Like, if they have any react here, I think we probably just lose. I guess we could, like, overblock a little bit. Maybe overblocking is actually the path here. Like, overblock like this. Feels like so bad. I guess we're not getting Codex, though, so we don't have to worry about that. Hold on. Maybe actually the better block is, like, 3. I feel like this actually might be the correct block. We do this. We give up Shuko. They pump. Go to 1. And then we still have Crown of Providence in case they go for the second Leave No. This might be correct. God, I feel so bad, though. Yeah. Rough, rough. Alright, infiltrate. Infiltrate. I guess we can just, like, get hit by this, right? Yeah, I feel like Kiss of Death might have been the better name. It's still fine, though. Let's go with the Pouncing Key now and just, like, keep holding on to the Crown. Does that make sense? No. I think we should just give up the Crown, then. We'll get hit by 1. They'll get a random card. I think that's fine. And the question I have is, do we want to cycle this 100 Winds? We could use it for pitch, which is actually kind of relevant. So I feel like we're not supposed to cycle here. I think this hand works as is. We get to do a Chase the Tail, play it out. Seems good. So you do get to flick probably... Oh, the Kiss of Death. Alright, so we go to 1 here. Oh, I forgot that the Kiss of Death was even on the combat chain. Okay, Wonky is pretty good. Is that our second one? No. So we still have Wonky in the deck if we want it. Alright, so we need to kill them now before they can even swing with a dagger. Do we even have enough damage to do that? So maybe Kiss of Death was actually just the better name there. I mean, results oriented, obviously, but Hit, chase the tail. Okay, that's a good start. Better lucky than good, I always say. So in that case, we just want to get any 0 cost. I think we're clearing their hand here. I think we actually like needed to hit off that harmony to win. Because if we can take their entire hand, then they can't pay for a dagger, and therefore they can't flick a dagger. So what went badly this game? I think the toxicity kiss of death obviously was unfortunate. Beyond that, let's grab what? Probably grab a swipe back actually. Then we can tutor for swipe and just pop our bouncing paws to push as much damage as possible. But yeah, for things that went poorly, I think the kiss of death toxicity was obviously rough. Couldn't really block the Saber Bloodshed either. Yeah, really good draw. No comments. I think like might still be in this, but so I guess the question is, can they block out everything? So do this. So they have to give us a card here, then they have to give us 1 card here, 2 cards on Tigers. I think we clear their hand here. Because this is also going to be presenting 4 if we send it. So I think we just better lucky than good, right? Pretty solid. I don't know if there's anything we could have really done differently in this game, though. Maybe the Kiss of Death name was like the difference maker. So pop our paws, come in for another 3, which demands a card. Tiger Swipe demands 2 cards, so I think this is just lethal, actually, right? Card here, 2 cards here, assuming they don't have a D-React. Oh yeah, I guess D-React doesn't even work here, right? Pretty good. Alright, 4-1. Seems pretty solid. Yeah, they have a really scary draw, though. I guess, like, we just got lucky and killed them that way, but I think if we don't get lucky, do we still clear their hand? Maybe. They don't die, but I don't think they get to keep any cards, and maybe we draw back up and we're good. Yeah, yeah, well played. I definitely, you know, skilled that chase the tail off the top. It seems pretty good. I guess sometimes you kind of like have to like play towards your outs, right? Like sometimes you just need to hit, and then if you do, you win. But yeah, Stack's been doing really well. I want to try to get at least 5 wins so we can simulate like a little skirmish. I think if this is my skirmish performance tomorrow, I'm probably happy with that. The thing that's like kind of broken about this deck is just like how many transcend cards you get to see. Like you get to transcend so much more often than CC Zen, right? Because your density is just a lot higher. Actually, let's do the math on that. Hold on. Where's our stats page? So if we have 40 copies in the deck, we have 9 here. We desire at least 1. Our hand size is 4. Copies of the deck. So we have like what, a 60 or no, sorry. Yeah, we have basically a 66% chance to draw Transcend every turn. Something like that. Alright, Blaze. Good old Blaze. So they're gonna go first this time, which is interesting. I think the last opponent they went second. But we're definitely gonna just try to get a bunch of filtering here if they send anything. I've considered maybe cutting balance just for like AB3, but like I don't know if you even need AB3 necessarily. Like sometimes helps, but a lot of the time like you just like don't have the luxury. Nourishing on turn 1. Gross. That's bad. That's like really bad. Is it? I'm like halfway tempted to just give armor here. I feel like that's probably... That actually might be worth it. Oh, I feel so bad. Like, maybe we're actually supposed to do this. Is this right? I don't know if this is right. Alternatively, we're just taking 3 on turn 1. But, I mean, I guess, like, we're not being able to use the block on our armor anyways, so, like, we're getting 4 value here, whereas over the course of the game, maybe this gives us, like, 5 or 6 value. But, like, we're staying healthy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we can just let them have it. Unfortunately, I think we do just have to block here. Oh, it sucks. I think that's, like, maybe correct, though. Alright, I think we're YOLOing. And then we're just probably going to send, like, a sad amount of damage. So I guess we're just, like, arsenaling the pouncing key now or something. I wanted to, like, arsenal 100 wins, but I guess this is maybe still fine. Yeah, I think it's just too good giving them the extra card there. That's like the problem, right? It's like you maybe get like 2 resources off Shuko, and then you get like, or sorry, you get two damage off Shuko, and then maybe you get like an extra resource of Kasaya, and you have like the potential for Zen State, but like I don't actually know if you need that necessarily. Yeah. Not having Transcend is obviously quite a bit rough, but like I think denying them the cards is pretty important. I've like also thought about AV3 in this matchup, but I feel like I can't envision it helping very much. So we'll definitely pay 1 here. I mean, they are going to no cards in hand, so maybe this is fine. I'll take an additional 3. Go to 12. They take 3. They go to 12. Scary. Not maybe a great spot to be in. Okay, this hand's good. So I'll start with 100 wins, double transcend. Maybe still die anyways. Yeah. So it seems like they maybe want to do something on my turn. But they can't kill us from this position, right? So let the damage resolve. I feel like we're just supposed to like get a 0 cost here. They can do a bunch of stuff in response if they want to just like get rid of or get around me having blues in hand. Maybe I'm fine with that though. Like we don't really have a better window. Sonic Boom, no. Rough. We cannot pay. Yes, we cannot pay. Unfortunate. Oh, Spindle. Okay, we're dead. Rough stuff. I guess we can like pay the pounce or pitch the pouncing key to just not die to their weapon, but unfortunate. Maybe there's a world where we're not supposed to transcend, and maybe that's how we win or something. I don't know. Wait, do we win off this? So we already dealt the damage. Can we deal 10? They have 1 floating, so they can Seeker's Legging still. We can't deal 10, right? Maybe we can't. 2, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, 2, 1, 4, 5, I guess is gonna have to be good enough. Yeah, I think it's just unlucky. Maybe like this is just like the bad matchup for this deck. I don't know what we can do to really make this much better though. And yeah, I think giving up the armor there on turn 1 was correct for what it's worth. So at least we stripped the last card out of their hand. But like they can still just like kill us on a whim, basically. Assuming that this card in hand is not a no block. Yeah, just a little too slow, I think. So we attack and we die, I think is the plan. Because they can basically just do anything. Yeah, this deck's really strong. I feel like the Sonic Booms have also just been getting us really good. That almost assuredly kills us. Assuming that they can play anything here. Yep. Kindle's pretty good too. Yep. Seems pretty good. Alright, 4 and 2. Not too bad. See if they want to run it back, maybe? Want to do a quick rematch? We'll see. I do want some Blaze practice. I think it's definitely one of the better decks. Alright, they might have quit out. It's fine. Alright, where... homepage. Yeah, that deck's pretty rough. I'm trying to think if there's anything that actually makes that, like, better, though. Like, maybe, like, a Null Rune Robe. I don't actually know if that's gonna help all that much, though. I even say it's even Dodge Blaze. I think we've been getting a bit rolled in terms of just our RNG. But yeah, the matchup is not particularly great. Alright, Lexi. Probably just want to go first in Lexi, right? Alright, give him good luck, have fun. I can see some number of D-Reacts being good. I don't know if we want to go like full D-React. Maybe just something like this, maybe. Just cut some of our clunkier combo cards. Maybe actually the Growls are a better cut. Something like this. Lexi, I think Crown's probably fine. Whatever. All right, fantastic opening hand. I feel like we're actually supposed to Arsenal in Sacred Art. Or no, that doesn't work, right? We need to play the Sacred Art now. So I think we're arsenaling the Gust Wave, I guess. This is like fine though. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything better we can do to like tech our deck for Blaze. Like the only thing I'm thinking is maybe like Null Rune Robe, but even then, I don't know how much that actually helps. Because like we're pretty like resource constrained anyways a lot of the time. I think we maybe just need to draw better. So that was Tiger, so we can easily get our chase here. Seems good. We are at least keeping them off of using like Voltaire to throw things in Arsenal by doing this. They just want to block out. I think that's fine. And we just get to push 3 damage, wipe their whole hand, and then Arsenal Gust Wave. Seems pretty good. Ooh, nice hand for next turn as well. But yeah, I'm expecting a decent amount of Blaze. I think, like, what are the best decks in Blitz right now? It's probably, like, Blaze. Florian, I think, is pretty good. Like, I think you can do, like, the chance stacking kind of thing. So that deck's pretty scary. I'm trying to think of other good Blitz decks. Like, Valda seems playable, although I don't know how well she does into, like... I don't know how well she does into some of the decks. Just a Searing Shot for 4. I don't know if we care about this. They're gonna deal 5 to us, maybe get a little bit more Gogan. Seems fine. Alright, they Voltaire, loading in a Frostlock. Cards and activated abilities cost heroes an additional. If Frostlock is fused, it gets hit if it hits 0 until end of turn. They can't play or pitch cards with base 0. Okay, sure. So are they going to fuse it? I guess is the question. So no fuse. We can't activate anything on our turn, but that's fine. And then if it was fused, it gets hit. So this is basically blank text, is what I'm getting. Yep, seems good. I don't know if I've like ever played against this card. Maybe I have actually played against this card. Like, I think I got into the game right around the time when like Lexi was running rampant. It's been a while since I've read that one though. Alright, let's do Homage plus Stir. Get a bunch of resources. Seems good. And then we can... So we have a couple options here. Could actually make a Zen state if we really wanted to. Is that worth it? Maybe just want to send face though. So we're definitely grabbing our chase. That goes without saying. I'm almost eyeing like, I don't know how good Zen State is against Lexi. I guess if we want to do it, we have to like decide now. It's like kind of tempting, but I feel like it maybe is just better to send the damage. I feel like it's maybe kind of nebulous, like how wide is Lexi actually like able to go? Because like here we just get to functionally strip their hand. Like we're demanding at least 2 cards. So maybe the Zen State's not even that relevant. But yeah, Blaze is a matchup I think I need to figure out a little bit more. I think though were those both our 2 losses to just Blaze? Yeah, that matchup is just tough. I don't know if there's like a lot of decks that beat Blaze though. Maybe you just need like the 3rd AB though. That's also potential. Might have Tegan help me practice that. But like I don't even know if you can like afford the 3rd AB. Just in terms of like deck building. Alright, Razor's a little bit less scary, especially when they're on a much smaller hand. So what we need to do is we do need to block this Endless Arrow, which is not hard given that we still have all of our armor. Oh, I guess it's going in for 7, right? So we need to block 7 on it. So let's just do this. And then they can't pump with Voltaire. They can't pump with Bullseye, so I think this covers it. And then they just keep the Rain Razors in Arsenal. So I think this is fine. Then we just get to send 7, so this basically threatens another 3 cards, I think. They don't really have any armor to block with. Or maybe it only threatens 2 cards if they would just want to give Tunic. Alright, like seeing a Winter's Bite block. And we'll just send it with the Mauling. Yeah, I don't know. Blaze is just Blaze. Sometimes she just like has those really nut straws, I think. Alright, so they are gonna go to 1 here. So I guess they do get to keep 3 cards. That also shouldn't be that bad to block. Alright, red Boltyn shot. Are we worried about Codex? Kinda, right? I feel like maybe I just want to Flick Flack plus Breed Anger this, and then if we get Codex, we just get back like a 0 for 4, and then just shoot it at them. Seems fine. I guess maybe we should just double do this, because that plays around them reloading. Like, they'd then have to pitch to reload. It might not matter, though, if they just have draw the Codex here, though. Maybe we'll still do this. Let's double flick and maybe put them off reloading. Unfortunately, the flicks don't stack, but not the end of the world. So we can actually do 4 into 1 as if we use our pouncing paws, we can represent 4 into 1 versus Censor, which would maybe demand 3 cards depending. Is that better? Censor only demands 2 cards. I feel like that actually might be... This pouncing paws might represent stripping a card out of their hand, so I think we should actually go for it, because we're going to make another Tiger on the back end. So assuming that they don't have a D-React here, I feel like this actually makes sense. Do we have a blue in that hand? No. This is a all-red hand, right? Yeah, so that would have basically stripped a card. All right, 5 and 2. We'll do a rematch, sure. All right, 5 and 2. Seems good. I think we're just doing the same plan, right? We cut like the growls and just bring the flicks. I don't know if we need sync as well. Maybe let's actually try the adding in the syncs. They're kind of bad against Frostlock though. Let's run it like, well, I think we'll just run it as is and see how it goes. Alright, another really good starting hand. Ooh, they have a Coat of Frost now, as opposed to the Tunic. Interesting. Alright, Arctic is pretty good turn 1, but we do... Oh, actually, the Arctic is good for us, right? It's kind of hilarious. So, if we win Chakra plus Stir, we pitch the Harmony, so we can end on levels, which is maybe better than start... Like, we can start with levels on full modes. Me ending on... I guess it's, like, kind of the same. We're gonna play this regardless. I guess the only problem is if we end on levels, then we get to play the Wind Chakra. So I think we're gonna start with the Wind Chakra, pitching the Ancestral Harmony, passing all the Frostbites, then we'll stir the pot, gain a resource, activate, and then we'll grab swipe, because we don't have Shuko buff yet. And then we just get to keep a random arsenal. I'd say that's a pretty good start through an Arctic Incarceration. So you get to go 5 and 5, draw a card. Yep, seems good. Buff draw. Swipe is kind of whatever in terms of an arsenal, but still kind of fine. Heatseeker block I do like to see. This hand's clunky. Winter's Bite, obviously pretty good as well. So I think we're actually supposed to just take a turn off here. So we'll pay 1. I think we're actually getting rid of the Sacred Art here just because it doesn't block and we can't play it anyways. Then they're going to pre-med Voltaire. So the nice thing about the Frostbite is we can like flick-flack it away. That looks pretty good. So now they Heatseeker for 8. They have 1 floating. I guess we're just denying the Heatseeker trigger, right? I think that's the play. And then we can just block on the other thing, on the drill shot. So yeah, I think we're just taking an off turn here. Oh, wait, sorry, whoops. Hold on. That was my bad. I meant to block with the Ancestral Harmony there. Okay, that's fine. A little bit of a punt on my part, but not the end of the world. So yeah, that's fine. So that's really bad because now we're like giving them double arsenal again. I guess they get double arsenal anyways, right? Off the ponders. At the beginning of your phase, put the top card of your deck and your face up in your arsenal. So like maybe they're getting double arsenal regardless. I think do they have the opportunity to bow there? Maybe. I'll just block 5. Yeah, but you need to get in the practice of punting every now and again. I think it's good. Okay, so in that case, I think we're just gonna use our pouncing pause to play this out for 4. It's a little bit scuffed. Blue Infecting Shot, I feel like I don't care about. So maybe it was actually kind of fine that they hit with the Heatseeker because they don't get the option of what their arsenal is. Is that how the triggers resolve? Do they get to ponder first or do they get the Heatseeker first? Interesting. I don't actually know. I feel like maybe since they didn't have a face-up card, the Heatseeker trigger was always happening. Because they don't get to turn face up on ponders because it's on end step, right? You can't do anything. So maybe we're like actually kind of okay with that hitting. Oh, the blocking of the... Okay. I did not expect that. So now their arsenal gets destroyed. Interesting. Maybe they just hated that Blue Infecting Shot being there. Ugh, this hand is bad. I think we're filtering here. So let's I guess how bad is it if we get codexed? It's pretty bad. Maybe we're just still keeping this as like a Transcend starter then. Like maybe we're not cycling this out Crown of Providence and just keeping this so we don't get codexed, and then we're getting rid of maybe this other sensor or something. I don't know. Oh, this is good. That's way better. Might be a codex, or it's a Code of Frost. Okay, sure. And it's codex. Cool. So they're getting back Heatseeker, or they're getting a Searing Shot instead. Okay, interesting. So wait, why not? Oh, no, they do have a Heatseeker. Isn't this just better? Maybe they just don't want a random arsenal? I have no idea. Still works for us, though. Yeah, I feel like there's some misplays going all around. That's not a misplay, though. Or, that's actually not even that good. I guess we can banish the Heatseeker now. I mean, it doesn't matter because they're out of codexes. So I guess we're arsenaling this sensor then, and then we're just getting, like, breed. This works out. No New Horizon, so no different to a Ponder. Oh, true. That is actually a good point. So I guess maybe they didn't... Oh, that actually makes sense then, because they don't want to... they don't want to get the random... Like, they don't want the Heatseeker to resolve and then give them an arsenal that they might not want. That makes sense. I'm still confused why they blocked with New Horizon that one turn. Just on a Tiger Swipe. It felt kind of low value. Still not doing too bad this game, though. This hand is bad, so this is almost certainly just a Rain Razors. So I guess the question is, like, do we care? Do we care about this hitting? Like, they can already reload off Voltaire anyways and Bullseye, so maybe we don't, but we'll still give it the block anyway. So this is almost assuredly Rain Razors. Yep. Seems good. So now they get to load another Bolt Shot. Also pretty good. So we do want to make sure we're blocking still. It's kind of interesting. I guess we'd rather hold on to the aspect. I think it's still fine though. Alright, Bullseye for Searing Shot. Also fine. So we're gonna dip pretty low here. I guess we can like block this out if we just want to send 7. That seems fine. We're probably not gonna get a ton of Shuko value, and maybe getting this 1 point of value is pretty decent. I think this makes sense. What is what card combo with? Searing Shot or Boltyn Shot? I'm not sure. I forget what I said. So we do get 3 cards here. Rainbow Boltyn Shot, I feel like, makes sense for Lexi. Alright, yep, and I think we win here, so we'll play the nice old Wind Chakra. No, we'll probably be game. Good game. Alright, 6 and 2. How long have we been going? Almost at 2 hours. Let's do a couple more. I'm kind of in the mood for it. So let's keep going. Oh, whoops. Whoops. What did I press? Okay. I accidentally clicked February, I think. Oh, the Gust Wave. Yeah, ignore the Gust Wave. This is just this is 0 for 4 combo. It's also, so you can also run Flusterfist, which is also just another 0 for 4 combo card. What's that? Fluster. You can also run Fluster, but the reason I run Whelming Gust, or Gust Wave the Second Wind over Fluster is it's funnier because like this card saw play in Zen before it really saw Katsu do anything with it, so it's like kind of like an extra form of disrespect. So this is basically just 0 for 4. But it's a combo card that you can like tutor. Basically identical stats to Fluster. It's pretty good. All right, I think if we can end on 8 and 2, that'll be pretty good. Yeah, I almost want to see if I can make room for like a null rune robe, but I don't even know if that helps. I guess it maybe helps a little bit on like turn 1. What would I cut for a null rune robe? Maybe like cut Sensor and just no. I guess that doesn't even work. Like, I'd have to cut a Deer React, which I don't like. Or maybe I have to like cut Crown of Providence or Balance, both of which I also don't like. Yeah, it's mainly for the style points. So I think if I was to cut anything, maybe I just cut Balance, but I feel like that hurts a lot of your other matchups. I think we'll take a break on the Lexi for now. I do appreciate it. Let's see if we can get a different deck. Just because I don't want to just grind Lexi. I feel like that's maybe not the best use of time. Otherwise, like I'm trying to think if there's any room. Like, is there room for Northern Robe? And does that even help? I don't know. Stride's Reprisal plus Crown, too cute. I'd say, like, you can do that. Oh, it's another Lexi. Okay, cool. We'll try to find some other than Lexi. Yeah, how would you feel against Verdance, Florian, or KO apart from Blaze, and maybe ASC? These are the decks you have. ASC. Accept. Is that what we're trying to go for? Or no, that's not how you spell accept. Maybe send. Those are the. I'm not sure what ASC means, but yes, I think I understand the question. So I think like Verdance, Florian, or KO and Blaze are like the 4 best decks. You probably do have to have a game plan for all of them. Maybe we'll do like a public blitz just so we're not matching into Lexi again. I guess the question. Oh, Arakni Solitary Confinement. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think those are probably the best decks right now. So I feel like the KO game plan's pretty good. Because of balance. I feel like Florian feels pretty good. Verdance can be rough. So maybe that's like another matchup where we'd want AB3. I'll have to test this with Tegan because Tegan's gonna be playing some plays. So maybe we'll do some practice. But to me, Null Rune Robe is like correct. I guess the question is like, what do we cut for Null Rune? Like maybe the third D React is honestly like maybe we just cut Sync. Maybe that's like what I'm gathering because like we need a core 40 game plan that doesn't involve D Reacts to be good into Wizard, right? So maybe like this Sync below is like the weakest link. And instead we should just be running like some kind of extra Null Rune. Oh, Terra is actually a pretty good matchup for us. So first or second? I think I'd rather go second. And then I think they generally tend to be a little bit more fatigue oriented. So I don't want to bring in a ton of reacts. Maybe just like 2 is fine. Maybe cut like the growls and run it like this. This is more so just like you kind of wail on them until they die matchup. So yeah, Arakni, Solitary Confinement. I think what are our good matchups? I think Florian's a good matchup. I think that Arakni Solitary Confinement seems fine. A little bit like kind of like a 50-50 kind of like aggro matchup. Blaze feels a little bit on the rougher side, so maybe we need some extra tech there. KO feels pretty good, just because you have balance. Try to think who else. Verdance, I think, is similar kind of to the Blaze matchup. Alright, so it seems here like they're probably just going to activate Terra into turn. Don't really want to give up the Cosmic, but like, I want to like hold on to the Harmony. So maybe we're like doing this and just trying to draw one of two Transcends off the top. Don't love this. This may be fine. So I feel like this matchup tends to go to fatigue a bit, so I want to hold on to the Cosmic in case I need it. It seems like they're maybe just going to pitch for Might here. I didn't actually get to see. They pitched Everbloom Life. Okay. So we actually have the option here to pop Pouncing Paws, and how much value would that give us? We'd be able to get an extra 6 value because we get to play the Tiger Swipe, which would represent 1 here, 5 here, and then levels. So we're getting 6 value off Pouncing Paws, but we're losing 1 from breaking the Pouncing Paws. I think that probably is worth it. Or I guess we're pitching the Cosmic instead of this, but I think the point still holds, right? Alternatively, you can like hold on to it, do levels go again, Tiger Swipe. That's 7 value. And then we get to hold on to Pouncing Paws. It's interesting. I feel like this might actually be a hand where we're supposed to just pop it. So 2, 3, 2, it's 7. I mean, it's 7 regardless, I guess. I think this is still worth. Getting 5 value off Pouncing Paws is basically like kind of where you want to be at most of the time. So I think what I've learned from the stream is that like, so let's actually look at like my Blaze win rate. I think that will help inform. So where's Blaze? Blaze Firemind. So, oh yeah, that is not great. So we've won 1 game and we lost 4. So maybe the extra Null Rune would help. I don't know how much it would help by, though. I guess it would just prevent us from taking a bunch of damage on turn 1. I don't know. But then losing Kasaya is also just, like, brutal. Alright, they waste the Mites. Fantastic. So now our plan is to basically space out our Transcend cards, and to do that, we're basically just going to not play this one this turn. And we'll save it for Arsenal. Mauling Key is actually not the best hit. So I think we're actually supposed to like overpitch this Mauling Key. And then we'll just get some go again. So yeah, maybe we need a Blaze plan. Like, I don't think Oasis is what you want. So I think if anything, it would have to just be extra Null Rune. Okay, guess we'll go ahead and grain this. It's fine. Yeah, I think we're just grabbing 3. It seems good. But yeah, I imagine they're probably just going to lean towards blocking out this turn, and then we have a Transcend card for next turn, so we're in, I think, pretty good shape. Do 5, 1, 6, threatening an additional 1. This deck feels like very good into anything that's like slow, and also feels pretty good into anything like kind of more aggressive because you just have Flick Flack. Alright, Oasis is A-okay. Again, the longer the game goes for us, I feel like the better it is, because like we're more likely to basically hit our Cosmic. So like any cards that like slow down the game for Zen, I think are really good. Like if I see Oasis, I feel like I'm pretty happy with it. If they just like block 6 here, send Hammer, we're also, I think, pretty good. Looks like they might be going for another Oasis. Okay. I'm still fine with that. So you have to make a Might and maybe like send Hammer or something, but beyond that, I don't think they're doing very much. Seems great. So let's just keep spacing out our Transcend cards. Sync Blow is a little bit awkward, but this is fine. So swipe off the top, fantastic. I think we're supposed to not gain a resource so we can pitch this Sync Below. So we'll not gain a resource. And then we'll just get aspects. Because we want to Arsenal this so that we can just keep up the pressure. If they're not doing anything, then like keeping a Sync Below in Arsenal is like pretty bad. Yeah, I feel like Tarot was a really good deck at one point because you just did the CYB plan and you just beat all the wizards. But now that they banned CYB, it's like, I think the deck might just be unplayable because Stack Florian will kill you. Blaze will kill you. KO... I don't know how you are into KO. KO will probably kill you too, though. You're not good into Zen. But like, I don't know how many people like actually play Zen and Blitz. I think he's still really good though. But you'll basically like lose to all the wizards. And like, who are you actually like trying to beat? I guess is the problem with Terra. I guess you probably are pretty maybe okay in like solitary confinement or whatever. I don't know. You obviously get Crown, which is nice, but like they're not even using Crown like super efficiently here. It's also an interesting quick dodge because we're only sending like 2 more attacks. I guess they have Rampart, so they can kind of make the resource work regardless. Yeah, I think like when CYB was legal, you had a really good shot into a lot of the better decks. But like now, I feel like he kind of just like doesn't have anything he's really preying on necessarily. It feels like there's other decks that do what he's doing kind of better, at least from kind of like an outside perspective. Right, so I cover everything. That's fine. I guess like the one thing is like because he's kind of like a fatigue deck, you do get to get a lot of value out of your cards by not actually like blocking with cards, which is kind of interesting. Oh, we're so close to Cosmicing here. Wait, we can still Cosmic if we want to. We Censor, Float 2, Path will Travel, Stir. So we do Censor into Cosmic, so that's kind of like 20 anyways. Yeah, let's do it. Hilarious. We don't get to also Kakara, I guess, but that's fine. Oh, nice. You did win a skirmish with Terra. That makes sense. I think he's like good. Like, like the thing he does is pretty strong in terms of like just making a might with like floating resources. Like, I think he's still like he's still a deck you can like win with, right? Like, you're not just like losing against everything because you're playing Terra. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a case of like other things he does kind of like better, or like there are other decks that kind of do a very similar thing. I guess there's nothing. They're not gonna play anything, right? So I guess we'll just name like Absorbing Aether, sure. Anyhow, we'll just send the Cosmic. We can also buy back the Cosmic with Preserve if we want to. So, but yeah, like Guardian's a lot of fun. I think like Terra does do some very strong things. It's mostly just like I don't know what he fully targets at this point. Again, I'm not like the most. I'm not like a Blitz expert or anything. Maybe people know better than me, but at least from an outside perspective, it seems like he maybe struggles into a couple things. Ooh, we get a levels. Fantastic. Sure. And then we can get another 100 wins, 100 wins, 100 wins, and on levels Arsenal Tiger. I don't like that play. Or no, we don't want Arsenal Tiger because then we need to. So we don't Arsenal Tiger. We just draw a card off levels, I think. Yeah, this works. Yeah, that's true. Crown of Seeds is very strong. Florian also being able to run Crown of Seeds, though, is like pretty good for him, too. I don't know. I feel like this card is like kind of overhyped in Blitz. Like, it's obviously very good with like Tunic and stuff, but like the card's like very strong. It's not like that strong though. Like you get like an extra point of value sometimes. Like I don't know. I'm not necessarily like the biggest proponent, I guess, of Crown. It's very good though. Like don't get me wrong. It's just like it's not like the card that will completely just like ruin your day or anything though. And this is kind of how my Terra games go, I feel like, a lot of the time. I think we're just saving this drop, right? What are we getting? Maybe like, do we have another breed? No, we're out of breed. That's fine. Let's see what we actually have left. So we have Chase, obviously. Pouncing. It's kind of awkward because we don't have... We don't really have like a great way to play out this. I guess we can get like 100 wins and just do 100 wins, 100 wins. That still doesn't work, right? Because we have to like pitch this. There's nothing really great to get here. You can also just get the wins and like just send a bunch of annoying breakpoints and then like IP with the Key Unleashed. Yeah, it's fine. Maybe we also just get like the mauling. Maybe that's better. And oh, we already pitched to this. I guess we're just like IPing with this. That's fine. We should not do this first. We should do the 100 wins first. Okay. So I guess we're just like IPing with the Key Unleashed, which is not the end of the world. Yeah, I feel like Victor was really good. I think Victor was honestly like one of the few Guardians that was kind of like able to kind of contend with Zen and Blitz, at least during the time, like when he was like super broken. But even then he wasn't like that good. But yeah, Victor, I think a lot of people miss having him in Blitz. He's a really cool deck. I imagine he would probably get a lot better with Test of Strength. That deck would probably be pretty good. Alright, so unfortunately we're not able to convert our full hand here. It was a little bit awkward, but not the end of the world. We're still sending some pretty annoying breakpoints. So we're maybe demanding 2 cards here. I guess they can give like armor plus card and then throw some disruption. Still pretty good for us though. Alright, root bound. We might be getting felling here. We do. That's fine. Oh, preserve is nice. That is our way to get back Cosmic, and also if they go for any Arsenal disruption, we have the double transcend, which is also really good. Seems good to me. So let's go ahead and preserve the Cosmic. Then we can Sacred Art. I guess we'll just like overpitch the Sync Blow. I don't think that matters very much. Gain a resource. I think we can IP Achieve, and then that's also fine. I think here we'll just play our last Chase the Tail. Oh yeah, Victor was really good. I think that deck was like so powerful in Blitz. Just seemed very, very strong. What threats do we have left? So we have 2 CNCs gone. We probably have another Spinal we have to worry about. Chokeslam is gone. How many Tillings have we seen? We've seen 2 Tillings. I feel like they just have a bunch of crappy blues at this point, right? Get our Chase. Terra Sunder we have to watch out for. probably have a couple fruits left. Shelter, I guess we now have to worry about. And maybe like one more root bound and then an Everbloom life or something. I'd say we're fine here. I mean, we're sitting at 21. I don't think we can fatigue from this position. And they still have to like keep giving us their hand. Seems pretty good. They will also have to give us like one more card after this. Which should be really annoying unless they have like another fruits or something. Taking Tunic is also great. Yep, so we'll just pass. So now we have the second Cosmic back in the deck, which is also why I think you just like don't need it in general. Specifically like Cosmic number 2, just like in the main deck, I feel like is too clunky. All right, there's the fruits. So it's actually funny, they didn't have to give Tunic there if they want to just discard fruits. But I don't know. Maybe they had another reason for giving up Tunic. Like, we are just going to be fatiguing them from here. Let's get our last pouncing key. Then we get to do 4 into 5. So this will basically strip hand again. I thought this deck would be like a little bit more popular, but it kind of makes sense that it's dropped off after the CYB ban. I think that just like killed a lot of the slower strategies in Blitz, which is probably for the best. Okay, so we get the second Decompose off, sure. I'm like 95% sure we just kill them by swinging Kakara every turn after this turn. Like, I don't actually think they have the deck density to deal with us. I guess like Sotomaro maybe would help. They probably have another So as well. Maybe that's their end game. Sure. Blocking out. Seems good. They're doing a good job of not dying, but they're not really necessarily living. So close to being able to Cosmic. You could just like Arsenal the Cosmic too as another option. But I think here we're just going to play out the drop. I mean, eventually they are going to have to like start sending an attack at us, even if it's like a bad attack. Right, there's Crown, sure. We'll drop. Gain. Do we want to gain a resource? I think we actually don't, because we want to pitch the sink below. I think we're arsenaling this Cosmic. So let's do this. Grab our Key Unleash, and then we'll just pitch the sink below to this. But yeah, I feel like Zen just like kind of eats these decks alive. There's too much like, there's so many threats in this deck, and you just get the repeatable re-go again functionally every turn. Just seems like very, very hard to fatigue. Love to see a felling block. So that's the last felling too. So I guess the only things we have to worry about now are like Sotomaro. I think Cosmic for 15 is probably enough, right? Do we need to do it one more? Like, do we need a max? Do we need a max Cosmic? I think 15 is probably good enough. Seems fine. We might lose out on like 5 value. Actually, if anything, we maybe should have Kakara first pitching the incant. Actually, yeah. Well, let's see if we can undo that. Maybe we'll do this first, I guess. I mean, functionally the same result, but like we get an extra 2 points of value. Might matter. So they block that, that's fine. Now I get to Cosmic. Seems good. And that will be lethal. Alright, nice little 7 and 2. Alright, let's run it at like 10 games. It seems like a good idea. Give him a good game. Yep. So one of the other kind of like advantages of this deck is that you will not lose to fatigue, even if they try to like block out everything you do. I don't think there's just enough defensive overlap to do that. Okay. Scurv has largely felt like a buy for me, but we'll play it out. I think the Growls just leave, and we're gonna like this. There's also some merit to actually bringing in some extra D-Reacts. Maybe we'll bring in like one extra one and cut like a breed, because they do have some number of attacks that have like overpower. At least some of the Scurv lists I've been playing into have some amount of overpower. Alright, starting with the Swell. So we are on more of the Pummel variant, which is pretty common from what I've seen. What do we want to block with? Probably just the 100 wins. And maybe save like 6 block for something else. Probably just want to filter here. Alright, just a Sloop. I think this is the block, just so we dig 3 deep to our Transcend card. We could have also overblocked if we really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. So we know they have a red Pummel on top, random Arsenal, fantastic hand. Hit a Sensor, not the end of the world, and then let's buy back what here? I think we're just buying back like 100 wins. It's better than Key Unleash most of the time, I think. And then let's just go ahead and get, I think, a swipe here so that we're getting our Shuko trigger. We can do 0 into 6 into 6. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Pummel Scurv. I've never seen it like really do anything, especially against this deck. I don't know, it just seemed like it kind of just seems like a pile of generics and pirate cards, which I guess it is, but like I don't know if that's what you need to be a good Blitz deck. I don't know. At least it's felt pretty bad. So this card in hand is Pummel. They have Conqueror on top. Our hand is bad, but I've seen worse. I guess they can like Talishar here if they want, or like Sticky. I also want to like cycle for a blue. I think we're just saying no blocks to this though. Could end up popping the Pouncing Paws. Maybe we're supposed to block with like Pouncing actually. I don't know. Alright, Sticky Fingers coming in. So this card's still Pummel, right? Yeah, this card's still Pummel. So what does this mean? Yeah, this card's still Pummel. Pouncing here. We can then do Breed Anger into Censor or something. And name Pummel. It seems fine. I think we still want to hold on to Crown of Province because most of these decks are running like Conqueror plus. So this card's Pummel, this card's Conqueror, and then yeah, we're holding on to Crown of Province, so this is good. So let's start the Pouncing Paws. Oh, we do need to find a way to kill Sticky, which I guess is just the 100 wins in that case. So how are we doing the Breed Anger then? I guess is the question. Also just leave Sticky alive. I don't think that's too crazy. Maybe you're supposed to just kill it with the breed though. Let's play it safe. And then we just name Censor on Pummel. Feels a bit bad giving a Oh, we got some new spoilers from the Hunted stream. Yeah, let me hear them. Okay, we'll do breed, or we'll do Crouching Tiger into Censor. We also have a spoiler card for what it's worth, and our spoiler is pretty cool. I will say that. So that'll be fun. I think that's coming out on the 7th. It's in like 3 weeks. We have a fun video planned for that one. Alright, so we have Conquer, Pummel, one other unknown card. This Scarf deck seems like it's kind of struggling. Legendary Olympia spec armor that counts as gold for each slot. That's crazy. I gotta go see what that's about. Okay, this hand's really bad. Let's YOLO off the top. Sink below. Okay. Still getting an initial point of value here, so maybe it's fine. So Pummel, IPing with Conqueror. Seems okay. Oh, so you can like equip it to like any slot? That's kind of insane. That is pretty neat. Does that fix Olympia though? It does work with his Anvil spec. That's pretty cool. It is an interesting one. Alright, so we got our Gold Kiss Rum. Natalishar. Which is fine. So these, I'm assuming 4 cards here, we're getting pummeled, and then that's it. So we don't have to care about the Talishar. It's going to be a pretty good turn for them. But this is basically their last good turn, maybe? They're trying to figure out a way to pitch a blue. Right, this is how they're doing that. Okay, so that makes sense, I guess. So what? Wait, why didn't they start with the Conqueror if they had another blue? Weird. Okay, I guess we're still doing this. So I think we're discarding a Crouching Tiger here, right? So they get to go again. That's fine. We block 4, go to 6, and then no cycle. We'll drop an Homage, though. So actually, we're going to be a little bit higher. So one cool thing about Zen is that he's once per turn. So you can actually, if you ever need to discard something with Zen, one of the cool tricks is you can just make a Crouching Tiger on your opponent's turn, and you can still activate Zen during your turn. So one of the fun little tricks that Zen has. I'm surprised they didn't gold bait to hook that. Also. Yeah, I think they said that they didn't want to like design around Olympia and Betsy anymore, which I think makes sense. But the problem is they like released a product and then they didn't add any support behind it, so it's kind of like a bad feeling, at least from like the player perspective, is like their favorite hero. They don't want them to be like designed around. But I think if this is the Guardian brute set, right? So like you might as well just like give everyone a little bit of support. Like I don't think like Betsy and Olympia, like fundamentally, they have so many issues that no matter how many cards they print for them, they're probably going to still be bad, at least until the point where they I feel like they maybe need like 2 or 3 armory decks to like actually be actually we don't want to close the chain. Yes, this is fine. So we'll Crushing Tiger. But yeah, you basically need like so many specs to make those decks work that like you need so many like power cards for them, right? Because you need to like print more wager cards. You need to like give them added equipment, which they're doing. I'm really hopeful that they give Betsy a spec though, because that'll be kind of fun. I just in general like to see let them like print more cards, just so even if the cards are bad, like people can experiment around with them, and that's like kind of a way to boost kind of like player engagement. But yeah, I feel like Betsy and Olympia have so many problems that even if they print like 1 or 2 like good new power cards, like I don't think it fundamentally changes their play rate all that much. Problem is they made heroes. Yeah, that's the exact problem. Yeah. So like I think like they said they didn't want to do that, but like they've kind of put themselves in a bad spot where they printed these bad heroes that now have like a fan base. So you can't just like I think they've learned their lesson that they don't want to like print out a hero that doesn't have support because that feels bad. But like I don't know if there's like ever a world where they print enough cards to make those decks work. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. Like they kind of have to like give them something, but I feel like it's going to be like 1 card every 2 or 3 sets, and then they're basically going to stay at like the same kind of like play rate. At least what it feels like to me. So I think our block here is probably just like 100 wins. I mean, we don't even really need a block with 100 wins. It's probably just better than playing it. It seems fine. I guess we could have also like Arsenal the Transcend card. Oh, maybe that's better. I think we actually shouldn't have blocked here because now we don't have a Transcendent card in Arsenal. It's fine though. I mean, our deck's getting pretty thin anyways, so maybe we're pretty likely to draw into one. But I think actually the correct block there was that we're supposed to Arsenal the Rising Sun, pitch the 100 Winds, chi this, and then get like a mauling or something. I think that was a better play. Yeah, I think drink them under the table. Like, it's hard to imagine a card that's like better than that for Betsy. Like, I don't know. Like at a certain point, if you were to keep printing more wager cards and like stuff like that, like you'd almost have to print it. You'd have to like almost make the assumption that wager's like always hitting, which I think is like the problem with wager's mechanic, right, is that you are assuming that it's basically never hitting. so like if you flip that paradigm and it's always hitting, then maybe that becomes like kind of toxic. I don't know. It's like wager is such a weird mechanic. I kind of like do not like wager and clash all that much just as mechanics. I think they're kind of boring in the sense that like you're either always winning the clash or you're like never winning the clash. All right, rounded out at 8-2. But that was a pretty good stream. I think Zed's a lot of fun in Blitz. I miss playing this deck in CC a lot. But I think like he's still really good. We went 8-2. The only 2 losses we had were to Blaze, and like maybe we can actually make that matchup slightly better. Like I think maybe we just had some bad RNG also potentially. But yeah, Freaking Mother Tate. Like I'm excited to go check out the cards. Let's actually see if they updated the spoilers. Let's see. Not sure. They might not have updated. Was Toby Jugs? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, they might not have updated the spoilers yet. But yeah, I'll go take a look at the stream. I think most people are going to go watch it anyways. But I think that was a pretty good stream. So again, this stream was mostly like the reason we did this as a stream was just so you can like kind of see how the deck plays, and I wanted to give people like a bunch of games in case they wanted to watch all of them. I think this deck's really good. The only 2 losses we had were to Blaze, and like we kind of crushed most everything else. I don't know. This deck's really good. Oh, Discord will have them? That's also true. Let me see if I can pull them up in Discord, maybe. I might not put Discord on the screen, but let me see. Yeah, let's look in purple real quick. Official card reveals. Oh, wow. So, oh, these are Majestics. Oh, so they're all separate cards. That makes sense. Interesting. So that's... I actually don't know how I feel about that, Olympia. Yeah, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate having you in chat. Those Olympia cards are interesting. So I originally thought it was like adaptive plating where you can equip it to any slot the way you were describing it. Having 4... Okay, so here's the problem with expansion slots. They've given Olympia 4 new cards. Are those cards actually going to be good enough to see play? That is the question, because if we're running into a Teklevossen scenario where we print 4 Evos in the expansion slot, and then those Evos like don't like barely see play or whatever, that's like no. I couldn't understand it from chat. That's not your bad. Like it's interesting because like there are 4 new cards for Olympia. Will they see play? Yeah, 4 out of 31 expansion slots. That's honestly maybe a little... It's almost like they're padding that out a bit. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's a cool card. Like, if that card drastically improves Olympia's win rate, which I'm doubtful of, I don't know. It could very well. Maybe Olympia needs four slots to like actually see play. But if it doesn't, then they like basically did the same thing that it did with like Teklevossen and the Evo speed slips, right? Where you print 4 expansion slots and then maybe those didn't see play, and then you just are kind of like left with like, well, why are those 4 expansion slots not used on something else? I guess is the question. But it'll be interesting to see. So like we have 4 out of 31 slots devoted to Olympia. Will that impact him? Yeah. Yeah. God, I don't know. It does feel a little like I understand that sentiment. Okay, like I don't want to like come off as negative. If that does not drastically improve Olympia's win percentage or like his play rate or like just like give him a little bit of boost, it does feel like they maybe spent a lot of time on something that that's a fundamental problem, right? It's like if you print all those cards and they aren't good, then you've wasted an expansion slot. Like that's like the problem with expansion slots, right? All right, but yeah, thank you all for joining. This is a fun stream. I think we're gonna work on maybe the Blaze sideboard bit, so maybe I'm gonna try out a third piece of AB here. Me, it's like Northern Robe. But yeah, we'll try that out and see if that maybe is a little bit better. But I think maybe the cut is like a sync bullet for that, or maybe cut like one of the headpieces. But yeah, the card reveal stuff is interesting. If you want to see another card reveal, yeah, maybe Josh Lau will convince us otherwise. I know he was really excited about Escalate Bloodshed, which was hilarious. All right, but thank you all for watching. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. Maybe toy around with yeah. Good luck on your skirmishes too if you have any. And yeah, my spoiler is going to be on September 7th, right, Tegan? Tegan? Oh, Tegan might have noise canceling on. When's our spoiler? September 7th?
September 7th, I think?
September 7th, so we're going to have a fun video for that one.
Let me double check so that you're not...
I think it's... let me actually... All right, I have February out on... So spoiler...
I wrote it down. September 7th.
September 7th. So if you look on spoilers... There we are. Right there. So we get one of the earlier spoilers, which is pretty cool. And our card is pretty cool. I won't spoil anything about it, but I do think it's very interesting. That's all I'll say. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. And yeah, go feel free to give the deck list out like a checkout. I'll leave the link up here if you can see it. But yeah, feel free to play the deck. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Yeah, having to check our own spoilers is very funny. All right, but I'll see you all around. See ya.